Hi, I'm Robert Lewis from the Fayette County Public Schools Creative Media Productions team. Since March of 2020, the doors to our schools, for the most part, have been closed due to COVID 19, a worldwide pandemic. However, we are excited to say that in February and March of 2021, the district began to phase in students, grade levels kindergarten through fifth grade, for in person learning, with more grade levels to come. To capture the moment and to get a feel for the excitement, the challenges, and what to expect in this new normal, our team visited Coventry Oak Elementary and Mary Todd Elementary to talk with principals about the transition back to in person learning, something many of us have been looking forward to. Let's take a look.
All right, Miss Coles, we're ready for the next bus. Love how quiet you guys are in the hallway. Thank you for walking like super scholars. Make sure there's some nice space in between you.
Mary Todd, pardon this interruption. We are now about to practice our dismissal. So if everyone could move to their positions and to their duty assignments, we will now practice our dismissal. We're really excited to get our students back on campus. Our teachers were excited. Students were excited coming off the bus. Even with their mask on, you can see the smile behind the mask. They came in, they had their first day of school outfits on, new shoes, they had bags of supplies, and so they were really ready.
I'm going to give you a couple.
Just walking around the school, you can kind of see all the kids are smiling. Everybody's thumbs up because they're just glad to be back.
Glad to be back. All right, let's shift the line back just a little bit.
I felt like it was a very successful transition into the building.
I got it.
They're just excited to be here. They were ready for it.
I am prepared, I am a problem solver.
Our teachers are very excited to be here. They were sending emails and so forth to each other or the whole staff last night. Every first day of school, we always have a prayer with our staff where we pray for our school, our students, our staff, our community. And they wanted to do that even though we're way into the school year. We wanted to make sure that we brought in the students in the building the way that we normally do.
Oh, Cameron, I love how your hand's up. What's something you could bring back to small groups?
The biggest thing I told my staff this week was it's all about building relationships. When kids come through that door, we're going to love on them. We're going to make them feel like this is the most secure place in the world because it is. You know, we've taken all the steps. We have all these protocols in place. Like I told them today, the focus was just making our kids feel welcome, feel like they're part of our Bulldog family.
Let me give you a hint. If you think it is something and you go to fill in that word and it doesn't...
I'm of the opinion that teaching is a calling. It's not necessarily a vocation. Teachers sacrifice hours on the weekend. They spend money out of their own pocket to provide for students if there's a need. When students came back to school today, it fulfills our purpose as a teacher.
There we go. All my friends checking today.
We went into education because we have a profound love of children. And so when they walk through the door, it really makes us feel like all those choices and sacrifices we make were worth it.
I'm going to come and I'm going to bring a huge cart full of books, and you guys are going to get to look and pick what you would like to read.
We started heavily preparing for in-person return in December so that when we returned in January, they could focus just on the safety protocols, making sure desk shields were done, making sure that they had procedures in their classrooms. So it was more about focusing on structures and procedures and routines that were going to happen.
Anyone else? Lonnie.
One of the things that I've told the teachers is that we're not going to let the structures that we already have in place fall because we need to be prepared for anything that happens. We need to be prepared for kids to be in the building. We also need to be prepared if something was to occur that we need to go back home. So a lot of the procedures, or a lot of the structures, I should say, that we had in place when it came to remote learning, we're keeping those things in place.
So sometimes you may have an activity complete on your Chromebook in Google Classroom.
That is going to assist as far as getting everyone acclimated because we're not changing a lot of the way that we're learning. We're just doing it in person.
So the things we're going to focus on are establishing our expectations, going over our rituals and our routines with our students, but doing it with a whole lot of love.
So that is our practice positivity for Jim. When you're in here and you're active, you are going to feel better.
We understand that this is unprecedented. Nobody has ever done this. So we are going to take baby steps, if you will, to like, hey, these are things we need you to do, but we're going to give our kids the chance to make mistakes and then get it right. I think by having the firm expectations, but also doing it with a lot of kindness and a lot of love, that will get them reacclimated and back into the groove of school.
Definitely, to make kids feel welcome in the building, you first have to make them feel safe. That was our first step, is what are our safety protocols going to be? And then from there, how do we make those protocols kid-friendly and fun and welcoming? We know that we have to do things like social distance, stay 6 feet apart as much as we possibly can, hand washing, wearing masks, things of that sort. And those were all safety protocols that we knew we needed to have in place. But how could we create signage around the building that was kid-friendly, that made these things not feel scary to do? This is our new normal for right now. So we want the kids to understand that it's about safety. There's nothing to be afraid of. Everything that we do at Coventry Oak and in any school building is going to require safety first.
I think the thing that I want our parents to know is that, first off, we're here to give your child the best education possible. That's the first thing on our agenda. And then equal to that is we're going to keep your child safe. I'm a parent, so I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize the health and the safety of any child. I think that's the standard we all hold in this profession. We're not going to do anything that we don't think would be beneficial to any of our own children. So we're going to make sure that we give the very best that we can to all of our students.
I think the biggest thing to understand is that Coventry Oak is still a safe place to be. It's still a fun and exciting place to learn. Our teachers still have the passion that they've always had to teach the kids and to make that learning engaging as they possibly can.
Perfect. That's perfect.
We are still Comets. Our students are still Comets. Our theme this year has been Comets can do virtually anything. And we truly mean that. Regardless of our learning model, our students can still excel. They can still learn.
And you've got to think that it spreads because...
And our students just seriously just want to be here and learn.
So aside from the mask, today looked like, felt like, and sounded like school. And I think that is the big takeaway. Despite all the challenges and the things we've had to overcome in the last year, when kids came off the bus and came into our building, they're back in school. And that's what's taking place today. We're doing school.
Did everybody hear it? I'm going to read it out loud again.
Mary Todd is going to be a flagship school in the district. We're headed in the right direction, and we're just going to keep climbing. We're going to show up every day, and we're going to go to work. And whatever it takes, we're going to make sure that our kids get the things that they need to be successful.
Cafeteria. Stay spaced apart. We want to make this as much of a welcoming environment, even though we have to have things such as masks and desk shields. We can still make this a very welcoming and fun environment for our students. And as long as they're happy and having fun in their learning, then we're doing our job.
We want to thank Principal Ford and Principal Jones and the amazing staff and students at Coventry Oak and Mary Todd for welcoming us during this memorable time. We know we are still in the fight against COVID, so we encourage everyone to continue to be safe, wear a mask, and practice good hand hygiene. But it sure feels good to say, welcome back to in-person learning.